This is K1DBC. All stations please stand by. The Denver Radio Club Learning Net starts in 5 minutes.
W0TX repeater.
Sorry, I think I'm having some issues here. Give me just a minute and I'll get that started. Always with audio issues. Why isn't that on idle? Here we go. I think this should be good. Yeah, okay. Testing things, and I shouldn't test in production. There we go. Okay. This is K1DBC, the Learning Net. DRC Learning Net will start in 1 minute. All stations please stand by while the repeaters are placed into net mode.
PL off.
Hey, good evening here on YouTube. Appreciate everyone being here. Good evening. This is hello and welcome back to the Denver Radio Club Learning Net. This is Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie. My name is Daron, and I am Net Control. This is a casual conversation where we can discuss ham radio and STEM topics in general. And thankfully, we have plenty of combined expertise and experience. We meet every Wednesday, except the third Wednesday of the month, at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time on 145.490 and 448.625. Both have a negative offset. The 2 meter, the 1459 repeater uses a 600 kilohertz offset, and the 70 centimeter 448 repeater uses a 5 megahertz offset, meaning you transmit on 144.890 or 448.025 respectively. Yeah, tried some things earlier. Sorry for the delay there. This is K1DBC Net Control. Again, sorry for the delay in starting the net here, but this net can be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic by using the word break. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? You can contact us via email at drclearningnet@gmail.com. We also post info at groups.io/g/ham learning net, as well as stream and archive our nets on youtube.com/WEREGR8. You can also search for the club's call sign, W0TX, Whiskey 0 Tango X-Ray, or my call sign K1DBC. You should be able to find it that way as well. Don't hesitate to let me know if there's any audio issues. I was trying to do some things earlier, but let me know. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. We will begin by inviting Elmers only to check in with or without traffic. All Elmers, please check in now.
Alpha 0 Juliet Kilo, AA 0 JK with traffic. Good evening.
Good to hear Fred back in there. Good to hear you there, Fred, if you're watching. All right. Net Control wishes to thank and acknowledge the following Elmers. AA0JK Fred with traffic. I'll call back on you here in just a minute. Glad to hear you on the air here again. Once more, you can check in online. I did get K0LAI checking in here, and Jake Morgan, I think I've had your call sign. I'll try to find that here in a minute. But if you want to check in online, let me know. But once more, over the air or online, if you'd like to check in as an Elmer, you don't necessarily have to be a subject matter expert. Just if you have any information on a subject and you'd like to speak up at some point, let us know. Once more, if you'd like to check in as an Elmer, please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. All other check-ins to the net will be taken in alphabetical groups based on the first letter of the suffix of the operator's call sign. The suffix is the first letter after the number in your call sign. If you can, please try to use ITU phonetics as you check in and indicate if you have any traffic or questions as you do. If your suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Whiskey 0, Bravo, Kilo, Sierra. Barb, Wheat Ridge, no traffic.
Kilo 0, Bravo, Alpha, Tango, Art and Aurora, no traffic. November 0, Foxtrot, Alpha, Kilo, Rich and Aurora, no traffic.
Kilo 6, Hotel Juliet Victor, K6HJV, Tom Arvada, no traffic.
November 1, Golf Uniform Mike, Peter in Littleton.
Kilo Bravo 0, Mike Papa Golf. Grover in Denver, no traffic.
Missing all these calls tonight. Okay. Let's see here. Sorry, this is K1DBC Net Control. Things confused there. Sorry, I was distracted there for a moment. But I'd like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins. W0BKS Barb. K0BAT Art. I thought it was K0FAK Rich. I'll have to call back on you here in just a minute. And then I had K6HJV Tom. N1GUM Peter. And there was a Mike Papa Golf Grover. So let's start with Rich. Sorry, I thought I had Kilo 0 Foxtrot Alpha Kilo. Go ahead once more with your call sign, Rich.
November 0, Foxtrot, Alpha, Kilo.
Little thing there. Okay. All right, November 0 Foxtrot Alpha Kilo. I got you checked in that time. Appreciate the update. Why isn't that working? Come on, website. And then, sorry, I also had I thought a Mike Papa Golf Grover. Can you call back once more with your full call sign? Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's Kilo Bravo 0, miles per gallon, Grover.
All right, perfect. Got you that time. KB0MPG Grover got you checked in. Thank you both for correcting those calls for me. All right, a little off my game here. Seeing some chat here in the YouTube. Appreciate people being here, regardless. So let's see. Once more, we'll take call suffixes alpha through Mike, A through M. If you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net just for the count, or if you have any traffic or questions, please call now.
This KG5 Papa Delta Foxtrot with traffic.
All right, and that time we had KG5 PDF Jake with traffic. Sounds good. We'll call back on you here in just a minute. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. We'll go ahead and open up the whole call suffix, A through Z. If your call suffix begins with a letter, it's Alpha through Zulu, and you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net, please call now.
Kilo Echo 0, November Romeo Echo, Jim in Littleton with traffic.
Kilo Delta 0, Romeo Quebec November, KD0, RQN, David from Westminster, no traffic.
WD0CIV, WD0CIV, Charles and Denver, no traffic.
Kilo Echo 0, Sierra Uniform Mike, Jonathan, Lakewood, no traffic.
Kilo 0, Yankee Echo Sierra, Cannon Broomfield, no traffic.
November 0, Tango Romeo Papa, Jim in Lakewood. Good evening.
W0, Foxtrot, Foxtrot, Charlie, Jerry, in Lone Tree, no traffic.
All right. Let's see if I can do that real quick. All right. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. We'll hold up there for just a moment.
W0TX Repeater.
All right, Net Control would like to welcome all the following check-ins. KE0 NRE Jim with traffic. KD0 RQN David. WD0 CIV Charles. KE0 SUM Jonathan. K0 YES Ken. N0 TRP Jim. Online we also had WA4 MBG Bob. And then W0 FFC Jerry. Thank you all for checking in. All right, once more again. So we had AA0JK Fred with traffic, KG5 PDF Jake with traffic, and KE0 NRE Jim with traffic. I'll call back on you here in just a moment, but I'll throw it back out to the net. Is there any other check-ins at the moment? Alpha through Zulu for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net for traffic or just for the count, please call now.
Kilo 0 Sierra Tango Romeo, Russell in Arvada.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I'd like to welcome all of the following check-ins. K0STR Russell. Thank you all for checking in. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. There'll be plenty more opportunities to check in officially, but this is a very casual net. You're more than welcome to check in at any time, given any break in the conversation. Don't hesitate to check in at that time. I'll also take check-ins periodically throughout the net. So I guess with that, though, I'll throw it over to AA0JK Fred. Yeah, glad to hear your voice back on the air with traffic. Go ahead. That's yours.
Alpha Alpha Zero Juliet Kilo. Good evening, everyone. And yes, we're back from safari, aka vacation. Much needed vacation. We ventured out to the east to Oshkosh, Wisconsin for a
Thank you, Tom. Yes, I think so. Sorry, I did have... Shoot. Sorry about that. All while I was on this screen, that was muted. I do apologize about that. Yep. All right, A0JK Fred, this is K1DBC. Yes, I had some audio issues on my YouTube here. I apologize about that. I'm testing some things in production, which I shouldn't be. But yeah, great shout out for the On the Air magazine, first radio amateur event, page 20 or page 22 there about the 2-meter building a Yagi, as well as the Make magazine article that you'd spoken about. I think we had brought that up in the past. I'll have to try to bring that up or find that link again here. Sorry, I'm just a little discombobulated this evening. Yeah, very, very cool links. Yeah, good to hear about the event, the Oshkosh event, and all these other things here. So thanks for bringing all those links up here. Okay. I'll make sure it's okay now. Sorry about that. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I guess I'll throw it over next to KG5 PDF Jake with traffic. The net is yours. Go ahead.
Good evening, Drone and the net. This is KG5 PDF. Apologies, I think I cheated there again. Old habits die hard. So, yeah. Anyway, so you got the ULS up there. Just thought I'd throw out there a reminder to folks to update your address and everything on your FCC license. That's just as important as your driver's license. So I just did that here in the past week. And I also submitted the application to get the license plates with your call sign. Does anyone have an idea how long it would generally take for the state to pick up that application and get that sent back to the DMV where you could get your registration taken care of?
KG5 PDF. This is K1DBC. Yeah, on the screen there I had, and I have back up now, is the ULS, the FCC Universal Licensing System. It's what the FCC uses to be able to contact us should there be any actual interference that we're accidentally causing or intentionally causing. This is a way that they can get a hold of us, and or any other amateur radio operator knows where we are operating from. In regards to the license plate, I'm not sure in regards to the timeline on that. But some states, and very similar here, Colorado, we have amateur radio license plates that you can get. I don't know on the timing on that. Anybody on the air here or online know about license plates timing within the Denver area here recently?
LAI.
Yeah, K0LAI. Larry, go ahead.
K0LAI. First comment, Fred, your report on things was very good. On license plates, there is a Department of Motor Vehicles form that you fill out, and I'm not sure, you might be able to get it on your local county page. You certainly can get it through the Department of Motor Vehicles. There's a form you fill out, don't remember the DR form number, and it's really a universal form for all kinds of different specialty plates. Colorado is plagued with all kinds of specialty license plates, anything from Vietnam veteran to, I like to hunt to protect the whales or something. So, but for call sign, you're lucky in that they don't consider a personalized license plate, and you fill out the form for that. And some of the question is kind of weird, like what's the purpose of this, or what does it mean? You just put in it's an FAA amateur radio license plate, a license call sign or whatever. And I think you have to give them a copy of your license as well, so you're going to have to download one and print it out and attach it to the form. And I got mine a few years ago. It takes a little while because they have to make each individual plate, individually. It's done by the prisoners in the penitentiary. They make them. One person I know had hers incorrect. It should be an SCL. The three letters are on the left that are in vertical. They gave her one that was for a radio station call sign, which was an error, and she had to send it back and get it redone, but it didn't cost her anything. The county will contact you when the plate comes in, and you can go in there and take care of it. And I think you give them your old plates if you want them to recycle them. Anyway, that's pretty much it. It takes a while. This K0LAI back to net. And Jerome, I do have 2 items of traffic when you get a chance. K0LAI back to net.
Whiskey 0, Bravo, Kilo, Sierra.
All right. Sounds good there, K0LAI. Excuse me, K0LAI. Yeah, and Tom, A0GQ Online mentioned here as well, with COVID, there's a much, it seems like there's a much greater queue here recently, greater time. Yeah, plenty of information over on colorado.gov. Yeah, as we all know, with COVID, the DMV waiting times for many things is greatened. Barb, W0BKS, go ahead.
I have vanity license plates, and there are so many forms. I suggest that unless you're familiar with the process, that you get one directly from the motor vehicle department. And when I went online, there are all kinds of scams trying to get you to fill out forms that give you personal information. So I ended up going to the motor vehicle department, anyone, and they'll help you with it. You could probably do it while you were there. And it only took me about a month to get my vanity plates. And I have Colorado Pioneer plates, so I know those were made fresh. And it only took a month, maybe 6 weeks. So I guess it's when they're busy. And this should be a good time because a lot of people just do it when they pay their annual fee. So that's my 2 cents.
Perfect. Okay, thanks there, Barb, WBKS. And in regards, there's something wrong with your signal. It seems like I hear a just like a static noise in the background or something. It seems like, but I don't know if you're using a handheld and it's plugged in. I don't know. It just seems there's an odd noise there. But thanks for the follow up there. Yeah, definitely don't want to fall victim to any of these scams. Go directly to the source, the Colorado DMV. Just walk right in. Or if you're in any other state, just walk right into your DMVs, and you don't want to fall victim to any of these scams there. So thanks for that. I'll throw it back to KG5 PDF Jake. I don't know if you have any other follow up on that. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So that's a 60 hertz hum on Barb's signal there. Power supply might be on its way out there or need some attention. But yeah, so I did I did finally find the forms on the DMV site and sent those in. And I am in a little bit of a time crunch to get current tags on my truck so that the parking lot police don't come after me. So it sounds like I'm going to buy just standard issue state plates first and wait for those to come in if they're going to take that long. I should have got on that a long time ago. So thanks for the information. KG5 PDF. Back to net.
LAI.
Gotcha. Sounds good. They're PDF. Yeah, K0LAI. Go ahead.
K0LAI. Go ahead and pay your regular plates. Don't delay. And when you do get the new ones, they'll do a credit back and that sort of thing. So you won't be out any money. You'll be okay. K0LAI. Back to net.
All right, sounds good there, K0LAI. Yeah, hopefully it's just time wasted, unfortunately, but hopefully not financially. You would have to pay double or maybe a little bit more for the any fee associated with that. But yeah, you know, as we know, yeah, with COVID, at least here in Colorado, the DMVs have had some longer wait times. But hopefully within the last couple of months, it seems like hopefully things should have gotten a little bit better, but who knows. So all right, with that, I did get I got K0LAI checked in with traffic. Come back to you here in a minute. I also had online where'd it go? KE0GPR. John got you checked in as well. At this time though, I'll take further check-ins at the moment. And then I'll call back on anyone else who had traffic. So this is K1DBC Net Control. If you just tuned in, this is the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. General Q&A about ham radio, STEM, S.t.e.m, electronics. We have plenty of combined expertise and experience. So if you want to check in just for the count, or if you have any traffic or questions, we're taking all call suffixes Alpha through Zulu. Please check in now with your call sign, your name, and let us know if you have any traffic or questions. Please call now. Thanks for all the chat here and all the patience of trying to update things, but I should test things. But this is K1DBC Net Control. Once more, we are streaming on YouTube as well if you'd like. YouTube.com/Whiskey Edward Romeo Edward Golf Romeo 8. Live stream of this net and past nets and meetings. You can always check in on there if you'd like. I'll throw it back out to the net. Does anyone else at the moment have any other check-ins just at the moment? Please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. We'll go ahead and send it over to NRE, KE0NRE. Jim with traffic. The net is yours. Go ahead.
Thanks, Jerome. KE0NRE here. I have kind of a stupid question, I guess, or maybe it's a trivial question. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how repeaters work. But while we've been on local repeaters, I'm sure we've all heard some operators who have doubled with each other during conversation. And so I'm assuming at that time, since most repeaters require a PL tone, both of those operators were transmitting a signal that had the correct PL tone for that repeater. But what I was curious about was, suppose one of those operators had a PL tone that they were transmitting, and at the same time, another operator not using a PL tone or even an incorrect PL tone transmitted on the same repeater input frequency at the same time, would you still hear both of them doubling, or would it only take the one operator who has a legit PL tone? Back to net.
KE0 NRE, Jim, that's a great question. This is a K1DBC net control. I have an answer, but I'll throw it out to see if anybody else has anything on that. Go ahead. Chirp, that's what I was trying to think of. Their wiki has a good... so this is K1DBC net control. I think it would be the latter option there. I think if one person had a correct PL tone and one didn't, I think ultimately it would just be the one who had the correct PL tone that'd be able to get in, and there wouldn't be a double at that point. I think what you hear mostly is the doubles occur because we take the PL tone off, I think. I don't know. I don't know how many doubles we hear with normal repeater operations, but it seems like we hear a lot of doubles when we put the repeater in a net mode, which removes the timeout as well as removes the requirement for a PL tone. So, but no, you are correct though. I think if a PL tone is enabled and one person has a correct PL tone, a second person doesn't have the correct PL tone, the one with the correct one will just get in, and the one with the incorrect one won't be able to get in at all, regardless. But two correct PL tones, yeah, you'll hear probably a double just as much as you would without any PL tone. So NRE or anyone else on that, go ahead. Ooh. Yeah, let me see what you said here, Tom.
Yes.
Well, this is NRE again. Well, I appreciate that.
A double and a double.
Maybe someday I'll give it a try and see exactly how it behaves on a particular repeater, but I thought it was curious, and I think it's worth further investigation. So I appreciate the input for tonight. KE0 NRE, back to net.
All right, KE0 NRE. I think there was a double just as you were responding there with there was a KG5 PDF in there. But also, Tom, A0GQ Online had mentioned the PL tone turns on the connection between the receiver and transmitter. So one PL tone is enough to open the repeater. So I wonder if just one person transmitting the PL tone enables it from other people. Let me know on that. So yeah, PDF, KG5 PDF, go ahead on that.
So yeah, is 0GQ on the air with us?
Sorry, no, not this evening. He is just online this evening.
Okay.
Okay.
If he was handy, looks like he was hitting the idea I was about to throw out there. So as Tom pointed out there for us in the chat, that PL tone just makes the connection between the receiver and the transmit. There's some really fancy ones may be able to discriminate a little bit. I couldn't talk a whole lot on that, but I think in general you're still going to get them both. Not problem, I guess, but sometimes it's a nuisance anymore. Some of the old machines did not retransmit the PL tone, so a lot of times anymore people will set PL tone on their squelch as well on their radio, and some of those old machines would not. Since they didn't retransmit that tone, you would never hear the repeater coming back to you a lot of times. And some people have kind of have stepped on me before because of that. And but I don't know if there's that many machines that are back in the day. Those were pretty vintage crystal controlled machines back then. I think most all of them retransmit the tone nowadays. So anyway, that's my 5 cents there, KG5 PDF.
All right, sounds good there, PDF. Yeah, I didn't realize that either. Yeah, thanks Tom there, A0GQ, and KG5 PDF for throwing that out. I didn't realize that. It makes sense though that in an analog repeater, in an analog system like that, it probably doesn't matter who throws that out. I guess it wouldn't know really who transmitted the PL tone, really. I guess, and as long as you're in there in time, I guess anybody could transmit as long as the correct PL tone was transmitted. Yeah, and as you mentioned there, PDF a little bit. There's a tone that can be transmitted when receive and or transmit, and it sounds like there's some discrepancy on when those are used. If it sounds like the latter isn't used too much anymore, or it seems like you would use the PL tone on transmit but not on receive. But the wording in some of this is a little bit cryptic, and how it's set up is a little bit odd too. And when you get into it a little bit, it gets a little bit confusing. So, and Tom points out, if one person transmits the PL tone, then the repeater is open for all. Okay, so so there must be some window that these repeaters allow for. Wow, interesting stuff though. So, good question there, NRE. I didn't. I mean. It should have been more obvious, but these repeaters are fairly dumb, if you will. So they don't care who transmits it. But if a correct PL tone is transmitted by one person or another, it could allow for a possibility for doubling whether or not somebody's radio potentially has the right PL tone or not. So there's a lot of possibilities there. So good information. Read relay. What do we know? Good stuff here. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. A good conversation here. I'll see if anybody has any comments, questions in regards to that last question in regards to repeater operations, in regards to PL tones or doubling. I know we've talked about doubling in the past. I don't have a solution for it, unfortunately. I've always tried to think about what technical solution we could have to prevent that. But I'll throw it back out to the net. Anybody on that? Go ahead. Yeah, that's why I got checked in here. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Hopefully I didn't have things muted here where I couldn't hear things either, but if you had said something and I didn't catch it there, let me know here. All right, I guess real quick to wrap up on that, some other conversation on that. Tom, AE0GQ mentioned that PL tone decoders a long time ago were read relays that were sort of like tuning tiny forks. So when they were right tone, when the right tone was received, the fork would vibrate and a squelch would be dropped. Wow, yeah, it's interesting to know. Wow. And then we also had KF0 FSY NAN check in online. So I guess with that, I'll throw it over to K0LAI with traffic. The net is yours. Go ahead.
This is K0LAI. Thanks, Jerome. Something to follow up on Fred's trip to Oshkosh. Up in Broomfield at the Rocky Mountain Regional Airport, the Commemorative Air Force, which used to be called the Confederate Air Force, is going to be here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're going to have some aircraft there, some vintage World War II type aircraft, a B-24, B-29, P-51, a T-6 trainer, the Texan, and which I have seen in person in New Zealand when I was in New Zealand in late 70s. And what else did they have? I think they had a transport, and I can't remember which one it was, C-49 or C-45, something like that. And they're going to be there. You'll be able to, it's $10 for an adult to get a ticket onto the pad there, and then if you have that ticket, you can go and actually tour those vehicles. And also, they were offering rides in a couple of them. So if you're daring enough to get into an aircraft that is 70-plus years old, you can. So that's that item. Let me reset. And we were talking about your first amateur radio event on the air. And this Sunday is the Golden Grand Fondo. It's a big bicycle event, and it will be in Golden, starting out at Parfit Park, and it goes the Gran and the Medio portion will go up into the mountains, up into, I think the Gran goes up into Boulder County and Gilpin County, as well as, of course, Jefferson County. It goes up Golden Gate Canyon Road. And Amateur Radio Aries is providing communication support for that. And if you go down to Parfit Park, you can see some amateur radio operators running the radios and being part of the communications. The reason is because there's no cell coverage up there, and so we are the communications, and if there's an emergency, we are the ones that are going to bring the ambulances and the sheriff and the state patrol there to help out. So if you're interested in that, you can go check it out. And I will be a part of that, just so you know. We'll be running APRS as well, and DMR. So this is K0LEI, and I'll go back to Jerome.
All right, sounds good there, K0LEI. Yeah, a lot of great aviation events here in Colorado. Yeah, glad to see we have more here at the Rocky Mountain Metropolitan Airport with the Commander of Air Force. Upcoming events here. Yeah, really, really cool. Yeah, and as you brought up in the past, the Grand Fondo in Golden, supported by Aries groups here. And yeah, a major part of some of the Aries work within the Colorado area, of Rocky Mountain area, is a lot of these summer events and winter bicycle and different events like that. So yeah, which Aries group is that with, K0LEI?
The main Aries group is R1D6, which is Jefferson, Gilpin, and Clear Creek counties. My affiliation with them is I am a past emergency coordinator, but that was above my pay grade, so I told them I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't have enough experience for it. But I am the technical coordinator and leader, so I advise on what equipment to have at the various EOCs in the three counties. And I have done the Grand Fondo many times in the past. I really enjoy going up into the mountains and doing the work up there, and I'll be running a digipeater out of my car so that the people that have small handhelds will be beaconing, and then I'll pick that up and I'll digipede it down onto the plane, so the people that are in the comm van, they will be able to see that on the laptop monitoring on APRS.FI. This is K0, and I think Barb's going to participate. I'm not sure though. This is K0LEI. Back to net.
All right, perfect there, K0LAI Larry. This is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, R1D6, COARES, R1D6.org, excuse me. Website again, CORAES, as in Colorado, Aries, and then region 1, R1, D6, delta6.org for more info on them. Yeah, plenty of Aries groups in the Colorado area, which is awesome to see. Yeah, a lot of fun with these groups and a lot of APRS and tracking, and yeah, because there's not coverage within these regions, it definitely provides us an opportunity to at least try things out and digipede and report locations for certain things. So very, very cool.
W0TX repeater.
X-ray 0 LAP in Littleton, Lee.
Kilo Foxtrot 0 Alpha Whiskey Charlie Brian, Wheat Ridge, no traffic.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I was trying to chuck around there. I don't know what happened there. Sorry, this is a K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Learning Net. I thought I heard a X-ray 0 LAP call sign in there. Go ahead once more with that call.
Yes, that was Whiskey X-ray 0 LAB Lima Alpha Bravo.
I guess memes and radio don't mix. How about that? There we go. Lee. All right, sorry about that. Whiskey X-ray 0 Lima Alpha Bravo. Lee, got you checked in. And then also had Kilo Foxtrot 0 Papa Whiskey Charlie Brian. Thanks for checking in.
Correction, Alpha Whiskey Charlie.
All right, my apologies. Alpha. I am sorry. That broke out there for me. I apologize. Can you? I apologize, Brian. Can you correct that once more?
Kilo Foxtrot 0 Alpha Whiskey Charlie.
All right, sorry about that. Kilo Foxtrot 0 Alpha Whiskey Charlie. Appreciate that. Thank you, Brian, for checking in. All right, sorry again about that. A little fragmented this evening myself here. So once more, This is the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. If you'd like to check in for the just for the count, or if you have any traffic or questions, we're taking all call suffixes Alpha through Zulu. Please check in now.
So this is Whiskey X-Ray 0 LAB. I do have a technical question when it's appropriate to inject that.
All right, sounds good. WX0LAB Lee. Yeah, go ahead. Now's a good time.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm trying to I'm seeking information to contact the appropriate repeater owners for being able to program the Echo Link or make use of the D-Star repeaters in the area. If there's anybody who has any knowledge about that and could share contact information, I'd be happy to be able to get that from somebody. I'm trying to make a couple of things work at my end here.
All right, good question there, WX0LAB Lee. Yeah, there's quite a few, I'd imagine. I know, I think if you go to repeaterbook.com, you might be able to find, kind of drill down and see which ones of those there are. I know the Denver Radio Club, our website, W0TX.org, and there's a repeaters link. We have a Echo Link information on there. There's going to be a bit difference in some of them, just in the frequency and node numbers. But there's actually quite a few with Echo Link, DMR Brandmeister, Wires X, C4FM. There's quite a mixture here in the Denver metro area in regards to any analog or digital coverage. So it's mostly just about kind of looking up the club online. A lot of them are fairly good about putting their information online. Denver Radio Club, W0TX.org. Parker Radio, another good mention here, parkerradio.org. I think they should have just they have All-Star here, and probably have some more repeater information. rmham.org, as in Rocky Mountain Ham. They have a repeater listing. rmrl.org, another good group here. So a lot of them should have it online. I think if you, a lot of people mention now, if they just search for like Denver Ham Radio, you can kind of find a good mixture of the different radio clubs here and their repeater listings, as well as some of their analog and digital communication methods as well. I'll throw it back out to you, though, Lee. Go ahead.
Yeah, WX0LAB. Yeah, I will go back and revisit what I've looked at. I can't say that my web search has been exhaustive, but I have no problem finding repeater locations and frequencies, and even being able to make connections with the repeaters, just analog voice. But I haven't quite mastered some of the programming that's necessary to make either the digital connections or the when you for example with Echo Link, it's easy for me to go from my cell phone app to a repeater to a user on a handheld or something on the other end of that repeater, but haven't really figured out how to program a repeater on this end so that both users can be on their radio sets. A couple of things like that I'm just trying to track down sources for.
All right, gotcha there. WX0LAB, this is K1DBC. Yeah, I'm not too sure on that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if I maybe misunderstood, but yeah, I mean, the Echolink app, I mean, other than, I mean, getting it connected to your radio, you need like some sort of a audio interface device or some sort of a device to interface it to the radio. And then if you're trying to do some repeater setup as a repeater yourself, there might be a little bit other things than that. Yeah, I'm not too sure on that though. So yeah, good question. I'm not too sure.
JK.
Yeah, AA0JK. Fred, go ahead.
Yeah, from the sounds of it, I think it would be best to be contacting Jerry, W0GV, and get some direction there from Jerry. And also WW0LF Orland oversees a lot of our repeaters, I believe. So I wouldn't be trying to set up your own repeater there. That is pretty well organized and overseen, and permission has to be granted and frequencies assigned, etc., etc. I wouldn't be trying to set up your own personal repeater. Gets real complicated real quick. But I would direct you to W0GV Jerry and get some direction from him. He's our club president at the Denver Radio Club. AA0JK.
Yeah, Whiskey X-Ray 0LAB. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm not trying to set up a repeater. What I was describing, and I don't know if I've exceeded the limits of Echolink in trying to exercise this, but you know, I can go radio to repeater to somebody on a phone or a computer, or I can go computer to computer, or I can go computer to a repeater and somebody in the field. But what I was trying to do was figure out how to go from a user in the field to one repeater and then connect to another repeater to another user that might be in another state or, you know, well beyond the repeater that I'm accessing. And one discussion that I had with somebody said that that can be done. It's sort of described in the Echolink description there, but that you have to be able to program the repeater that you're accessing to reach out to the other repeater, and that requires you know, coordination with the owner of that repeater. Basically, you have to have permission to do that, and codes or keys to be able to do it. And when you put it in that mode, then you have to make sure you take it back out of the mode when you're done, so that anybody else can now use it again.
LEI.
Okay, I definitely understand what you're saying here. I'll get back to you here in just a minute, LEI. Yeah, just interlinking of repeaters, though, yeah. And if it can be done on a user basis and not from like a sysop mode, from repeater owner mode, if you as an end user could be able to do that. Good question there. Yeah, I know. Here in the Denver metro area, we have skyhublink.com, which kind of seeks to do something similar to that. And as you mentioned there in the latter part of your explanation there, yeah, it takes coordination and access to the repeaters and tones and things like that. And so, yeah, they through Echolink connect different repeaters, and you're able to, I don't know if selectively, I think it's just all at once, but yeah, good. I think I understand what you're saying now there. Yeah, K0LAI Larry, go ahead on that.
Okay, now I understand with that last explanation what's going on here. So, yeah, Echolink has some capabilities to do what you're talking about. Then there's the IRLP, which connects repeaters together. There's a way to do that using codes. And there's also All-Star. You should go to the All-Star and take a look at it. That has some really interesting capabilities similar to what you're talking about. And there's a lot of all-star stations out there already. Then you could do hotspots using DMR or with all-star. There's ways to do hotspots. You can do computers to repeaters. In fact, I remember when someone recently was, it was a few years ago, they had hooked up through All-Star with a hotspot and were talking to some of their friends that were in Kansas City that were on a repeater back and forth using the radio. So I think that you got a number of different options, and you should probably take a look at all those. And of course, DMR with a hotspot, you can do a lot of different things as well. So that's what I would recommend. I think you could probably do that with Fusion, and you could do that with D-Star, certainly, depending on how you set things up. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but those would be the main ones. So you have a bunch of options. You just need to do a bunch of research, and I don't think you necessarily need to have anybody's permission, especially if you're using the Brandmeister network on a DMR hotspot. This K0LAI back to net.
Yes, Whiskey X-Ray 0 LAB. Appreciate all of that. I'm trying to master digital modes, and I only started this recently, and I've made a couple attempts on a couple of different modes over on the HF side, and then was trying to start with D-Star here, and kind of fell back to Echolink because I wasn't having great success yet. But I can look into the other ones that you mentioned there. I thought that D-Star was kind of an ICOM exclusive right now. I don't know if anybody else is, any other radio sets are doing that. Are any of the other ones that you mentioned specific to brands?
D-Star is also supported by some Kenwood radios. Some of them can do D-Star. And then Brandmeister is just a network. I think it's brandmeister.net. Denver Radio Club has a Brandmeister repeater, and you don't actually need a repeater locally. You can use a hotspot, and there's OpenSpot is one of the brands, and the other one is PiStar. Daron had put on the screen on the YouTube that he's running. He had one of the PiStar things that came up, and so those are the two main ones. Yeah, Shark RF, that's it. OpenSpot is Shark RF that Daron just put up on the YouTube screen. And PiStar has a Raspberry Pi as the main operating part to it. And I have one of each, and they do very well. The OpenSpot's a little bit easier to use, I think, but you got to learn about DMR to make it all work. But that you can check DMR out by going to Rocky Mountain Ham, rmham.org, to get information about that. DMR radios are not very expensive, and there's a huge DMR infrastructure in the Rocky Mountains here, and there's different places too. Anyway, so those are some suggestions. You got to do some research to figure out which way to go. It all depends on who you're trying to talk to. That will tell what kind of infrastructure they have in that area. And two people with just both open spots can talk to each other with handhelds going over the internet. So I've done that. I've talked with DMR, I've talked to somebody in Stuttgart, Germany. We had a nice conversation. And part of it was in English, part of it was in German, not a problem for me. So there's a lot of things you can do with DMR and D-Star and Fusion both. And again, Denver Radio Club also has a Fusion repeater. Anyway, K0LAI, back to net.
W0TX repeater.
Okay, well, I do have a lot of research to do still, so I appreciate all that. WX0LAB, thank you.
All right, sounds good there, WX0LAB Lee. Good question there. Yeah, there's a lot of options to be able to connect people in the field remotely to each other through either pure RF, but more than likely through some internet-backed technology. And all those IRLP, All-Star, Echo Link, those all involve some sort of internet-connected repeaters. But there's, depending on the location and the means that they have, you have plenty of options, it seems like. So yeah, thanks there, K0LAI, for filling in on all of that as well.
LAI with an extra.
Yeah, K0LAI, Larry, go ahead. You as well, Tom. Thank you.
K0LAI. And one last thing is, as far as interconnecting repeaters, like in Colorado, we have the Colorado Connection, which interconnects a bunch of repeaters, and it covers most of the state. And like if you're in Kansas, they have theirs. Unfortunately, Colorado Connection doesn't connect to the K-Link in Kansas, so Colorado Connection is just in Colorado, and the Kansas K-Link is just in Kansas. So that's a negative, and Oklahoma has something else similar. And I think Nebraska has something. So you can't go between states, but you can go within states. We just need to come up with something to interlink these different states. That would be a good project. Anyway, so that's something else, a way you can talk to somebody. And I have gone hunting. I have used the Colorado Connection in order to contact my wife from I was out hunting. I was in an area where there was no cell coverage, and I was able to hit the repeater in Vail, and that connected to the repeater here in the Denver area, and I was able to talk to my wife, and she's a ham as well, and be able to tell her, give her reports each day of how the hunting went, and we're all safe, etc. Anyway, K0LAI, back to Ned again.
All right, sounds good there. Yeah, actual real-world examples of how this works. And crossband repeat, we didn't really speak of much this evening, but I don't know if I can bring it up here real quick, but crossband repeater is a mobile repeater that you can have in your vehicle, and that you could connect to it via handheld, and it could then transmit back to a repeater. So another option there for RF, pure RF, more or less, repeater functionality. And yeah, as mentioned, yeah, the Colorado Connection, colcon.org, ks0lnk.net for the Kansas K-Link repeater network, and then rcwa.org for the Oklahoma link. So yeah, we just need to try to come up with some cross-border technology and somehow connect all these together and get things connected, because it'd be pretty cool.
LAI with one more.
No problem. Real quick here, just thanks to Tom Azier, GQ, a couple other comments here about the Facebook Colorado Ham Operators Group and the SkyHub link, as we mentioned, and D-Star, ICOM, and Kenwood, Fusion, Yaesu, and Chinese Stuff does DMR. So yeah, Larry, K0LAI, go ahead.
K0LAI again. And one last one, if you're willing to do texting, with APRS, you can actually text back and forth with people as long as they can pick up an APRS transmission. And it's amazing how far sometimes they can go. And so there you don't need anything special. It's just the ability to send an APRS transmission probably over VHF, which has a pretty good range. And you can actually text to and from cell phones using APRS. And there's a lot of information about the YouTube videos. And we actually use that in places where we don't have cell coverage, where you are able to send a message to someone that is in a cell coverage area, and they can respond back to you, and that works very well. And it's all totally legal as long as one person in the loop has a ham radio license. This is K0LEI back to net.
All right, sounds good there, K0LAI. Yeah, line of sight. Make of it what you will, but we can see the International Space Station at many points throughout the day, and you can send APRS packets to that and receive it back. And digipeat, it's a digipeater. So line of sight is pretty great. The higher up you get. So yeah, APRS, quite interesting. SMS messages. And yeah, you just need to kind of set up the gateway, and yeah, quite a lot of really cool stuff there. All right, this is K1WC Net Control. Little past the end of the time here, but no hard ending. But I'll throw out a call for any other check-ins just at the moment. Any other check-ins, questions, comments at the moment? Please call now. Yeah, KG5 PDF. Jake, go ahead.
Oh, good topics out there, for sure. And I just had a little bit of another instance this last week of cell phones not working. So consider it a PSA, I guess. When you're in a rural area, you may have decent cell phone signal, but the data circuits get overloaded quickly, and maybe it's just because of the free weather apps, but this makes one of several instances where tornado warned storms are moving into the area, and a weather app will not work. So, that's that instance where you really wished you had the weatherman on live, or you were tuned into the weather net with the spotters. So I think a lot of people are getting comfortable with just holding on to the apps, and it's personally it's already bit me in the butt a few times. So I think might be preaching to the choir here, but keep the RF tuned in. KG5 PDF.
KG5 PDF. Yeah, I think you hit on some higher level topics there. Yeah, deployment of internet throughout the continental United States is slow. It's still getting out there, but there's still parts of the United States where there's not good 3G, 4G, 5G coverage or any internet. So the National Weather Service, NOAA, you can always listen to their frequencies. The 162.4, I think, is kind of fairly wide coverage throughout the United States. 162 through, it's all in the 162 band. So yeah, online NOAA WX frequencies. It's just the things, if you ever listen on the back in the day to the scanners, one of the things you pick up is the Weather Channel and the news, and it's very, very important when you don't have cell phone coverage that you can understand and predict what you need to be able to do and what actions you need to take. So yeah, very, very good information there. Yeah, know your understandings, know your limits, and understand and make sure you have all the information you can get. This is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, and again, not just NOAA, but as mentioned, the weather spotters and the weather nets, and just be attuned to some of the different Aries groups, maybe locally, that might be standing those up, or any other groups, because it might be really useful to be able to have information that's being passed along to the National Weather Service, to NOAA, to some of these governmental agencies. You'll have it firsthand. So really, really good information there. All right.
Further comment PDF.
Yeah, sounds good. KG5 PDF. Go ahead.
A lot of people probably don't find themselves out in the middle of such weather a lot, but, so I thought I might exaggerate just a little bit, or not, or would expand rather on that a little bit. There have been a few times now, that you're out in the rural parts or small town. If you got to get somewhere, you're just a sitting duck out in the middle of a lot of places, right? And you got tornadic storms bearing down on you. The weather net was probably 10 minutes ahead of anything coming out through typical broadcast streams. If you're not watching the weatherman on the TV, that's probably that's my go-to for sure if I'm stationary. But when you're out running around the field and you're trying to dodge that stuff, that was super duper handy the last time I was down in the Texas Panhandle in the middle of a lot of that, and hearing the actual spotter reports is what kept me up to the minute in tune where I did not need to be. KG5 PDF.
All right, sounds good there, KG5 PDF. Yeah, I don't know specifically here in I know well, we have we're blessed to have the Rocky Mountains, and because we can place our repeaters at such high elevation, we have really good repeater coverage due to that. But Texas, always, everything's bigger there, so you're not going to get those signals all the way out there, and it's a lot of flat land out there too. So not blessed to have that such high elevation there. So in these rural areas, when your line of sight is a much decreased distance than what we would see here, it's a lot of interesting things. So I know some of the people here, the EOSS, the Edge of Space Sciences group, they chase weather balloons down into southern Colorado, and I know they've mentioned that they need to at least fill up on gas quite a bit, or they need to make sure they fill up on gas at the right moment, otherwise they might be out of gas. But I hadn't heard of any eastern coverage here, not necessarily being able to hit some repeater. But it's being able to be ahead of the National Weather Service, at least have some other person's eyes and ears out there. Definitely doesn't hurt at all.
JK.
Yeah, A0JK. Fred, go ahead.
A0JK. Yeah, here the past week we had some severe weather in the area, and it was extremely helpful listening to 449450, the amateur radio spotters. They kept us informed and tracked the severe weather. It actually had some of it here over the Arvada area, and it shifted and moved out to the northeast. And during that whole time frame, we were borderline of having a tornado touchdown, and the weather spotters did an excellent job of tracking it, giving exact locations, And if a situation like that were to come up again in the future, I would highly recommend monitoring 449450, and they do a great job. AA0JK, back to net control.
All right, sounds good there, Fred, A0JK. I thought we had something called the Colorado Severe Weather Net. Maybe that's what that was. Their website may not just be working at the moment. Might have been attached to the SkyHub link. Yeah, let's see, Colorado Severe Weather Net. But yeah, 449.450 at least belongs to the RMLRL group. So, yeah, a lot of cool information. Yeah, Severe Weather Net, it looks like it's out there. So... yeah, whether you're in the Rocky Mountain region or in a few states, Intermountain region, it sounds like that might be an option for you, especially since we've been talking about before with Echolink and things like that. We can connect repeaters and things like that, so there might be some weather reporting across state borders, very, very similar reports you might be able to look out for. All right, good information here. Good subjects this evening. Lots of good topics here. So, I'll throw it out once more. Anybody else? Any other comments, questions, check-ins? Anything else you'd like to bring up for the net? There'll be one final call here in just a few minutes. But anything else so far? Please call now. What are you saying in chat here, Tom? Glad to see all you guys this evening. Appreciate you all checking in here. Thank you so much. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I think I only have one or two other things here since we're running a bit late here. Let me drop and pass one more thing here. It'll be What's That Sound? So I'll play a sound, and we won't discuss it too much this evening, but it'll be something we can discuss further next week. So listen for this sound and let me know if you think you know what it is. Next week. I won't be able to play this on the air tonight. This is K1DBC Net Control. I'll go ahead and play a sound. Unfortunately, I won't be able to play it over the air. I just don't have it queued up this evening. But check out our YouTube. I'll play it again next week. No prize, just for the heck of it. So let me drop and play that here for you. I'll show you what I did here. Let's see.
This is a journey into sound.
What's that sound? What's that sound?
All right. This is, let's see here. All right, this is K1DBC. Let me go ahead and play this sound. It will be over YouTube only, unfortunately, at the moment. I just don't have it queued up. I apologize about that. But let me play it, and then we can discuss it further next week.
W0TX repeater.
This is K1DBC Net Control. I apologize. I wasn't able to get that over the air. I'm sure Tom probably knows what it is. And I appreciate that because spoiler from last week. But so yeah, that was a noise. It was something that ham radio, amateur radio operators may have heard in the past. It is an analog sound from a piece of hardware. So, yeah, check that out on the YouTube. I apologize I wasn't able to play that over the air this evening. But let me know if you know what that is, either in the comments or in the chat, and or on the groups.io, and we can bring that up next week. Again, seeing as how it's a bit late here, I guess I'll throw it out one last time here. Any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else for the net you'd like to bring up for this evening, please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. I guess I'll start to wrap things up here. I'll probably throw out one more chance to check in just at the last minute, but just to cover some club business, more info on our club, W0TX.org. We had our meeting last week. Let me drop here and bring that up. No worries, Tom. It's always fun. So it's a good game here. Unofficially, I do stream and archive our nets meetings online on my YouTube, my personal YouTube, youtube.com/Whiskey Edward Romeo, Edward Golf Romeo 8. If you also search for my call sign Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie, or the club's call sign W0TX, you can find it under any of those. Last week, we had a meeting by Ward Silver, N0AX, on the topic of grounding and bonding for the radio amateur. So he is the person who wrote the book. So really cool presentation here, archived online. So you're more than welcome to check that out, as well as this evening's net or any other past nets. We also had the Elmers session just prior to that last Wednesday, very similar to this, just a general Q&A. So I guess in a roundabout way, I was trying to say there, let me see here, let me drop. We do meet this Elmers session, excuse me, this Ham Learning Net, this meeting that you're here this evening with. It's we meet every Wednesday meeting. Wow. Every Wednesday on the third Wednesday of the month at 6 p.m. Our club meets for an Elmers session prior to the regularly scheduled Denver Radio Club meeting at 7 p.m. Again, this takes place online, W0TX.org. This evening we had a total of 24 check-ins. I'm sure I missed some check-ins online, but I appreciate everyone checking out on there. With that, this will be the final call. Are there any other further comments, questions, or check-ins for the Learning Net? Please call now. All right. So that will probably wrap things up here. This is K1DBC Net Control. Pleasure to have you all here on the net this evening. This is a very casual conversation. If you ever want to host this, if you ever want to participate in that as well, let me know, whether it be through moderating the conversation or taking check-ins. I can always help you through any of that if you'd like. You can do that officially. You can ask us through our email if you like, drclearningnet@gmail.com. We also are on groups.io /G/ham learning net. Missed it the last couple weeks, but I'll update that here soon. So yeah, let me see if there's anything else here. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. A little discombobulated this evening, but I'll get my bearings straight next week. So appreciate everyone checking in over the air, checking in online. Appreciate seeing people, hearing people. Again, we'll discuss the sound that we heard just a few minutes ago next week. So go and listen to that on YouTube. Try to, if you'd like, comment on there. With that, I'm going to go ahead and drop for the evening. I think I've spoken enough for the last hour and a half. So this is K1DBC Net Control. Please join us next week, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time, for the next Learning Net. All stations, please stand by while the repeaters are placed into normal mode.
PL on.
All right, again, thanks everyone for checking in here. 7-3 to all. I'll talk to you all next week. Take care. This is K1DBC. Drone, I'm clear. All right, thanks Bob, thanks Tom, thanks Peter, thanks everyone for chatting here, putting some filler, correcting me here. Yeah, had some technical issues, but I'll start to test some things here next time. Make sure the audio is all straightened out. But appreciate everyone being on here, and I'll see you guys all next week.
NBC Television.